Hey, what's going on, everybody? Chad Relentless Dreams, or Redbeard Candidate. So, I'm out here today, taking care of this DVT podcast, or DVT YouTube cast, however you want to see it. Second episode right here. How does a DVT start? Is it caused by hereditariness, or is it hereditary? Is it caused by slow blood flow? Actually, both of those are very true. Hereditary, it could be passed along through the genes. So you definitely, if you've found someone in your family that has had some issues with some veins or veinage, where they've clumped or they look bad on the legs or in the upper extremities, have them go check that out. Excuse me. But yes, it could be potentially passed down through the genes. It could even potentially hit the kids. Me personally, my son, I had him checked. My issue has been caused from a serious car accident I was in 2014. So, and I've had times 4 on the DVTs. Shout out Medi Lymphology for the compression stockings. They've been doing wonders for me. Helps out with the blood flow, keeps things moving. But yeah, blood could be slowed, through the body. If it's slow moving through the body from the feet up, it could potentially, cause a lot more issues, which causes clumping in the cells, the blood cells. Once it creates that clotted area, it does become a little bit more difficult to handle, but it can be handled as long as it's at stage 1 and not any further progressed. The areas that clotting can start, the underlining areas would be in the calf, the lower leg. Okay, it could go to the thigh, pelvic area. I wear thigh-high compression stockings, which helps out tremendously. But keep that in mind. If it's in the thigh or pelvic, it is painful, and you'll feel sometimes a throb or a lump, or even just warm to the touch. I mean, like hot, or it'll be really, really red, which I've shown in my Redbeard Candidate Instagram stories and posts, how it turns red when you don't wear your stockings and you've done extraneous exercise. Which brings me to my next point. Okay, it could be warm, it could be the redness, it could be the cramping, it could be the scaling or swelling. Okay, symptoms can approach and be in the upper extremities. That's called a DVTUE. Okay, so deep vein thrombosis in the upper extremity. Okay, swelling usually happens, but it stays in one area. So if it's in the upper extremity area, you'll just feel swelling or pain in one area, which I'm actually going through right now. Lymph node is here, and it's traveling to the outside of the shoulder, which is bringing it into the back of the bicep. Okay, so when I flex my tri, it's causing a lot of pain. So I'm getting that checked out, waiting on some things to come through. Another thing could be with the cramping there, it could be tender to the touch, reddish or bluish tone in the skin. Also warm to the touch, like I said. This could be the Paget-Schroeder, also known as effort thrombosis. Okay, when developing a clot with this effort thrombosis, Okay, this is usually dominated in one area, and it comes typically after a strenuous activity. So this is something that touched me, because I definitely have some strenuous activities that I do, but it's to maintain muscle mass and bone structure and keep me strong and fit. But rowing, wrestling, weightlifting, and baseball pitching are all hit hard. Okay. Another thing I want to touch base on here is DVTs are majorly underdiagnosed. Okay, underdiagnosed and misunderstood. A lot of people and a lot of docs, which I am by far not one, tend to look over it or look past it. Typically these things happen in sports players and more. So the other thing is, excuse me while I truck backs up here, like we talked before with the redness, swelling, cramping, if a clot were to break off from the lower extremity area, it would make it to the lungs. Start there, that becomes a PE, pulmonary embolism. Okay, 1 in every 1,000 adults experience it. Once you hit 45, it increases much more. Okay, the risk become higher. Men have a higher risk than women. Okay, you can recover from a PE as long as it's recovered or seen and taken care of at the stage it happens. Meaning, once it breaks off and hits the lung, it's taken care of. Once it sits and settles, sometimes that could cause a lot more longevity issues, and that's what we'll touch base on in here in a little bit. That being said, a third or more who suffer from DVTs will continue with the long-term issue and complications. As for myself, which you'll continuously see this until the day I die. You understand that? Because, every second counts, baby. Hashtag that. Relentless Dreams. Redbeard Canada. So, once the damage is done, the deviation for blood flow has to deviate. So it's got to find new canals, new pathways, new passages to elevate to get to the head, the brain, the heart. Okay, so that you can continue kicking yourself. Okay, shout out Medi Lymphology for the compression stockings. Check those guys out. You can get more from them. We'll work on something there. You can also have a post-thrombotic syndrome. Okay, this comes with scaling. Excuse me for a second. So this comes with scaling. Okay, ulcers in the worst case scenarios, swelling, pain, discoloration. All that plays a factor. Okay, that's what post-thrombotic syndrome could cause and be involved with, and so on and so forth. Okay, like I said, I'm not a doctor by far, but I'm just trying to shine some more light on this subject, because DVTs, lymphoma, the lymphatic system is all downplayed. It's the lymph nodes really keep you kicking, help you out in life, man. They help repair. They use your platelets, your red platelets more so than any. Which when my car accident happened, my red platelets were really low. So people with the DVT or PE can become serious. It becomes basically a serious illness. For one, could result in disability and or even death. There has been cases reported with some of the medications. One of them I take, no name mentioned at this point, until things start to roll. But yeah, it could be deadly. So make sure you keep an eye on yourself. Bruising, cuts, anything in that nature, especially if you're on those blood thinners, make sure you get those checked out. Okay, so this concludes everything at this point. I'm going to go ahead and end it. I know that this was a long segment. I'm going to try to keep these shorter. I should have probably broke this down, but that's okay. The more you know, the more knowledge you have all within one segment, the better off you are. Okay? So DVT podcast, anchor.fm/Relentless Dreams Cast. Go check me out, man. Okay? DVTs, it's all about the DVTs, lymphoma, lymphedema, all the progressions based upon catching your first deep vein thrombosis. So, Mr. Relentless Dreams signing out. Y'all take it easy and have a great rest of y'all day. You hear me? Red Bed Canada, IG, YouTube, check them out.